Good evening traders, it's Simon at Kairos Capital Markets with the weekly review of Aussie dollar and pound yen. This week I'm going to do a full breakdown of what I look for, how I do things, so it's a more detailed, much longer review. It's not just going to include Aussie dollar and pound yen, it's going to include quite a lot more pairs and just show you what I look for. So to start with, I'm looking at the indexes, what I've created myself using the TradingView setup. And I'll try and see what looks weak, what looks bearish, and what looks intermediate as such. So the wishy-washy one. So for the moment, the Australian dollar looks a bit wishy-washy. You could say on the daily that we've had this nice bullish engulfing candle here for the last Friday. Broke the daily 50 EMA to the upside, but it may drop back down again. You never really know with this kind of setup. These aren't the ones I like to go short or long with because they're yucky. I tried to look for the higher time frames and they're still kind of yucky. So that's the weekly chart here. So for me personally, Australian dollar, I'm going to sit on the sidelines for that. Not really too bothered just yet. Canadian dollar. It looks bearish overall now. Although it's in a bull trend, the daily 50 is providing support now, but I don't know how long that will provide support for. Bear in mind that we broke below this upper sloping trend line, and also if you look here, we had this key level here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches here recently, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the fact that we test it and start coming back down again, and this huge bull run here, I do feel we could head down a little bit further as well. So Canadian dollar I'm slightly more bearish on. The Swiss I'm bearish for Monday definitely, just purely because you look at this triangle here, you can see that we've got a daily 50 downward sloping trend line, we've got the triangle, multiple touches here. So for me personally, I would want to short the Swiss at some point on Monday or Tuesday, depending on what's out there, what pairs we got. The euro, very similar to the Swiss actually, funny enough. Although it's in a bull trend, very similar to the Canadian dollar. This has tested the backside of this trend line and has had two bear days off that it has. And obviously on the weekly chart as well, you've got these two high tests. And if I put a level at 520, I'll pop a level here, 520, you can see multiple support and resistance there which he struggled to break out, and he's tried to do it a second time. So for me personally, the euro is bearish for me this week as well. It is. Pound, I'm a bit yucky on this one as well. I am. This line is kind of a last resort of being bullish, but if you look at the daily, we was bullish on it on Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday we was on the pound, but not towards the end of the week, and obviously you got these huge wicks there. So for me personally, I like to see something better than that now. It's not the best. The yen, kind of similar. It's, you know, I still think it's got a little bit more motion to the upside here as such. And if you look on the weekly, you got this triangle, but it's being squeezed more and more here. So it's a bit indecision here. And also notice as well, this here hasn't really moved up much at all. It's not like we're chop then went up. It's just chop. It's not very nice as such, you know. I mean, I'll show you a look at the intraday charts here. Once you see a breakdown of this trend, the close below this trend line here, that would be the next leg down in all fairness. But for now, just going to leave that one. Kiwi I'm quite bullish on, and I'll explain why. So you've got this little range at the moment formed between 15 and 10.2. Multiple touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the weekly chart here. And what we've got now is this nice inside bar here. So for example, this looks very bullish to me right now as bullish reversal patterns. And when you look on the daily chart, you've got this double bottom or cod bottom there, right there you have, and you've got a nice bullish to the upside, bullish candle to the upside there. So the daily 50 EMA I know is in the way for some of the Kiwi pairs, it will be most likely, but at the same time, I think, let's say, a Kiwi Swiss could look good. Dollar index, this one on the FXCM chart doesn't look as bullish as the one on the DXY. The DXY actually shows you a bit more inverse head and shoulder pattern that I'm going to show you in a minute. And the ZAR, that looks kind of bullish, but I don't think you can get any room out of that for a trade, so I feel that you're going to have to leave that one. And we was looking to take a trade in that on Thursday on dollar ZAR short, which means we was looking for bullish moves off of ZAR. So as you can see already, what I'm looking for, and we'll go through bit by bit with the pairs in a minute. Okay guys, so I had a little rundown on the charts I have, and I'm having time to look through a few things. On the right hand side you can see a few pairs I'm looking at for the week that look interesting. Excuse pound Aussie, that shouldn't be there. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the DXY. So the DXY in the weekly has actually closed above the 93 level again, which is quite nice to see. And obviously if you flick over to the monthly chart, that should look quite nice actually, in all fairness. So you've got two little low tests. If we move up nice in the next couple of weeks, that'll look very, very nice. That would take a long term. So that's it. The weekly is closed there. It's a bearish engulfing candle there it is, which is kind of, you could say it's worrying. But when you look at the daily chart at the moment, for me, we outlined this a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, what I was looking at. It did move to this point here, has moved down to here, and has put tweezers in here as well. So this is quite nice. I quite like that, I do. Not the most perfect tweezers. Obviously, you wanted it the other way around, you would, but you know, being bearish then bullish afterwards for this one. But the fact that it's decelerated at the right shoulder, a nice Fibonacci level, you know, for me personally, buying some dollar pairs long right now would be quite nice to look at. But we're going to go to Aussie dollar first, because that's what we always normally do. And with Aussie dollar, we haven't got that. The Aussie has powered up quite nicely over the last week. It's just closed out at the 382 level right now. I know the daily 50 EMA is there, but the daily 50, it's on and off as such, you know, so I don't have much faith in it just stopping there. And the reason why is because of the 4-hour chart as well. The 4-hour chart has put in a higher high there, as you can see. Respect the 4-hour 50 very nicely here, very nicely there. I think I'll pull back to the 4-hour 50, and then it, you know, it will carry on going higher. Then obviously the 1-hour chart is also trending higher as well, quite nicely there. So for me personally, I wouldn't want to sell here. I would like a full pullback to the 618 level. On the weekly chart, we have this kind of rising wedge as such, you could see, or channel, or whatever you want to call it. It's broke down to downside. I'd like to have another retest of that. So if we could retest 80, that'd be beautiful. That's a really, really good value area. But if we don't get 80, it'll be around this area here. 795 looks interesting. And if it was me personally, drop back to the 4-hour chart, and you want to look for some key levels here. So personally myself, 795 on the 4-hour isn't too great. We are at a key level now at 789. You can plot that in, you could, quite nicely. 789. Yeah, just about there will do. That's quite a nice line there, but I think we'll break up and test in this area here, then come back down. So I want to look at some bearish price action later on this week. It won't be Monday, Tuesday, probably Thursday or Friday for this pair, I'd say, in all fairness. So for the moment, I still think it's a little more up to the upside here, because the interest rates are still showing an uptrend, and I would like to see a test of value at some point along the line. Would I take this trade though up? No, I wouldn't. We've got 3 days worth of acceleration already, so trying to catch it now, I think you're just too late. It needs some form of pullback on intraday, so it'd be a mess by the time you look at it. Pound yen. So this is quite interesting as well. This is now on the weekly chart. We have got an inside bar at a key level, at a Fibonacci level, at the trend line, testing the pattern. So for me personally, this here is a go for a long, but the daily isn't. And let me explain why. I'm concerned that we may get a test of this daily 50 EMA, and again we may test this triangle once again. I don't believe this low test is an actual a test. And again, if you pop onto the intraday of the 4, that we've actually had a break to the downside and a test of the 4-hour 50, and if you look at the last 4 hours on Friday, we start breaking down again. So personally myself, if you was, say, desperate to enter this trade, you really shouldn't be desperate at all, but if you was, I'd place an order here for such, and you can put your stop round about here, 46.5, 46.5, something like that, you could. And then you can then target the weekly levels you want to level, because that would then show you what there is. So 155 I had as a level there. I know some people got 160. I had 165. You know, you can put all sorts of levels in here, but you get the idea there of what we're looking for there, where we can go. So 155 is going to be turning out roughly a 7% trade there if you place an order in. For me personally, I want just a little. If it breaks above, and I'd rather enter here, have my stop there, and still that for a 3% trade. The reason why I'm going for safety there. So the price comes down, tests it, then comes back out and closes above this downward sloping trend line. I'd enter there straight away for the breakout part of it and put my stop below here, because that to me will signal that we'll move on the next high there. So that's what I'm looking for in this one here at the moment, but let's wait and see, and that can happen any time this week, I'd say. So other pairs I've been looking at on the analysis here, and I'm going to go to the euro dollar to start with. This one's quite a nice one, and it's been set on my radar for quite some time now, it has. So you know, we went long, we did Monday I believe it was, for I think about 2% or something it was. I am overly bearish on this pair. Let me explain why. So this weekly here in the zone of 1.2 to 1.212 I have on my one there. As you can see, all the way through here for the last 10-12 years, lots of respect there. So the fact that we had this inside bar doji then breakdown was quite nice, and what that formed on the daily was a nice head and shoulder pattern here. So what I'm going to do is now just pop that in there now to show you guys. There we are, and there's your head and shoulder pattern, which I quite like. So for me personally, with the right shoulder, this is almost the same, the inverse to DXY obviously. So for me, I really like this trade. It looks very, very nice on the daily and the weekly so far. Intraday, we'll show you something else now as well. Here's what I made earlier. So the green head and shoulder pattern is the general head and shoulder pattern of what you saw on the daily here. Notice how the heads are at 187 or 1885 here. There's so the shoulders are there and the head's at the top, but also notice with a mini head and shoulder pattern on the head, and the right shoulder of the big head and shoulder is testing the neckline of the little mini head and shoulder pattern. So for me personally, I quite like this trade. It's very nice. This downward sloping trend line is containing price as well very nicely. I'm not bothered about the 4-hour 50 EMA. If you notice, we've put it in for a minute again. No respect, no test, no respect, no respect at all there. One respect there. Really looking for a pullback there. That one you can. Not really. Disrespectful, disrespect, disrespect, disrespect. Did test, and then was trending. Which did respect it. So if you notice when it's trending, it's nicely. When it's in a pattern, it doesn't respect it, and we're in a pattern. So I'm going to delete that now. I'm not really too bothered about that. So for me personally, it looks quite nice there. And the 1 hour chart. That's the trade we took on the other day. I'm going to take that one off now for the moment. The 1 hour chart has broken the trend line. No matter how you draw this on these ones here, you could go to the extreme and go, oh, that's it there. But either way though, you're still going to get the same half decent. You're testing the head and shoulder pattern, you are the neckline. So for me, it's broken down, had a little mid double top and broke down again. I'm happy just to enter on Monday morning, to be quite honest. Big stop, yeah, I know. A lot of people don't like having a 230 pip stop on this, but it's just for safety, so you can follow through from the weekly chart. There's the daily, and here's the weekly. So we're going to go down to 105. I'm aiming for, really, in all fairness, 105.5, 106. And again, if I enter here, my stop is going to be above all this lot here. So if you don't want it above all that, you could just do something like that. You could have a much shorter term trade there. So if I show you what I mean, you're going to enter on the daily chart here, put your stop there, and then aim for 106, and that's going to be a 16% trade there. So that is also a viable trade as well. My only problem is though, does it actually go there, yes or no, as in, like, does it come back again? So it does come back again, a little bit extra there, 80 pips maybe. That's what I'm looking for. and for me that's a 15% trade. So that's one trade I'm looking at to take on Monday, purely because of everything lines up nicely. Good patterns. The chance of these winning on a head and shoulder pattern taking the right shows about 65%, 7% chance normally of winning these ones this way. Again, we go through here as well. You've got a key level, got a pattern, you've got a reversal and deceleration. RSI is creeping up now, it is, but it's not too bad. You've got a Fibonacci here. Let me just move out of the way. There we are. Let's do Fibonacci. Worst case scenario is a 0.5 Fibonacci. Best case scenario you can put down as a 0.618. So you got all the stuff I look there anyway, and you have a lower high there. And that's what I'd say is the start of a trend change. So it looks all quite nice, and reversal on the weekly as well. The weekly looks, I said, go back to the weekly, go back there again. RSI was peaked at 100 and dropped out the sky, so it's quite nice to see there. So yeah, I like that trade. It's quite a good trade. The next trade, Euro Kiwi. So for me personally, only going to be a short-term trade here, which I'll trade on Monday. We have got a double top on the weekly chart there. You have RSI was at 90 something there. It was where is it? It's exactly at the bottom there. Around about 90 that was there anyway. So I quite like that. You got two bearish days back to back, which is quite nice. We'll pop down to the charts for this one. This is a very, very clean short-term chart. Key level 6575 I've got there. Just a little mini bit here. If you zoom out on the 4-hour chart, you'll see that a bit more cleaner there. Has been respected in the past nicely. So what I'm looking for now is a retest of this area. Also, if we put in the 4-hour 50 here, notice how I'm looking for a retest of the 4-hour 50 EMA as well. And again, the 1 hour chart shows exactly the same level there. That would be quite a nice trade to take short, just back down to the recent lows again. So you can do something like that, like this as such. So like that, put your limit there, 1.4% trade, something like that kind of area there. That I will show you later on. Now $ZAR. Now I did say last week we was going to short this one. We never got the signal. We never got the tag in for it, but it was a perfect trade. Now notice how this has actually tested, or looks like it's going to test this downward sloping trend line. So I will wait for Monday, Tuesday, so Wednesday rough. I'll be looking for this kind of trade to take long, pop up above the daily 50 EMA, so it shows you got an inside bar on the daily 50 EMA and the and this downward sloping trend line. Also, you can have Fibonacci, a trend change again. You know, you have Fibonacci there as well. So that's what I'm looking for here. That'll be a couple of days to form, like I said. And then obviously intraday, we want to see some bullish price action on intraday. At the moment, there is no bullish price action. Don't think you're going to buy now, because that's just buying into. Look at this trend, bomb, 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 dropping down each time. So I won't want to buy just yet, but you'll be ready to see what you can do. Kiwi dollar. This is again very similar to Aussie dollar. This is where it could pop up a little bit more, but I don't think you can have that much more scope there, because although it's not bad here. It's not my favourite Kiwi pair. I do prefer Euro Kiwi, but at the same time, this could also give you a signal. So 715 has been a key level on the 1 hour and 4 hour chart. To show it now quickly, multiple touches there, and in the past as well, it's been there multiple times. So 715 is good. The pullback to test 715 and the 4 hour 50 EMA would be quite nice. Bear in mind it'd be trending a little bit there. Got a bit more respect recently. The 1 hour chart pretty much shows you the very similar picture, and the 1 hour 50 and the 4 hour 50 will line up together at the same time. So if you see here, they will pop up together there. So that's quite nice to see that, and that's what I'm looking for on Euro Kiwi, dollar Kiwi. And we have pound Swiss, my least favourite, but could have something happen to it. So the what have I done here, guys? Let's go back to the daily there. Makes life a little bit easier. Okay, so we've got this range on the weekly chart between 128 and 123, where the breakout to the upside had a test of 128, which is quite nice to see. When you look on the daily, I didn't take this trade this week because I was already long. No, I was short the pound, I believe. I was long Euro pound, I believe it was this week. Was it long Euro pound this week? I can't remember, but yeah. either way, I didn't take this trade. I wasn't too happy, but I want a bit more substance on intraday. We never had the substance, although it did come down like that. Give it a second test and pop back up again. To me, it's a bit choppy. It's not the greatest in the world. The fact we have a high test now and it was Friday doesn't really concern me too much at the moment. We come down to the 4 hour and 1 hour chart. What I do notice is this though, is this trend changing here on the 4 hour chart. Let's put this down, sort of a few things out here, guys. Sorry, things have changed here. There we are. So yeah, we had this the zone, the test of the zone. We've come up, test the 4 hour 50, come back down, breaks the upside. So what I'm looking for now is a test of the 4 hour 50 MA and his key 28, so 1.29 area. 1.29. That's a bit cleaner for you guys. And as you can see, it's been a little bit respected here, there and everywhere. And obviously, if it does come down to test that, it does put in a higher low in there, and that's quite nice to see. I think you get a nice little mini trade there. Again, we just pop this onto the 1 hour chart. By the time that happens, the 1 hour 50 MA will probably will duck down a little bit. It will. You probably get something around like here, you would, and you can get a little 1-to-1 there as well, maybe. But this is what I mean. It's not the best chart in the world. I don't like it as much as the other charts. So I'm going to leave you with that for the moment. I am for this week. That's how I normally do my reviews. I look at the general indexes, what's happening, and see what the best pairs are, what there is. Like I said, personally myself, Euro dollar, Euro Kiwi are quite nice. Then Kiwi dollar looks good for a mini short, maybe on Monday. Well, I say Monday, yeah, it'll be Monday. And then you got dollar ZAR, probably Wednesday as well. And pound yen will be a Wednesday trade as well, most likely. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learnt something. I hope it's a little bit different from what you normally see. Sorry it's a bit of a long one. But hey, it's what it does. We do a bit more of a full review. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon, guys.